latest football transfer news coming on your way. Chelsea is there, Liverpool, Manchester United, hey, Real Madrid. What is happening with Cristiano Ronaldo and Nacho and Casemiro? A lot of factors are coming onto Manchester United linking with a midfielder. Whether Erik ten Hag stay or leave, they are going in for that midfielder. And if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit on the subscription button, like and share the video. And hey, your opinions are always welcome here. With me, Sami, Nana Kwame, and Eddie, and we are buzzing because when it comes to this time, transfers are just making us happy and happy. The good things are that we are just getting on a massive information, digest it into details for you so that you'll be able to understand that there are difference between rumors and also real news going on. And come to think of it, Barcelona for sure are linked with Liverpool, Luiz Diaz, but there's an if there. And Sami, you are going to take us with that if. What is really happening with Barcelona linking to Luiz Diaz? Because they need a left-footed player, but I don't know why there is if there.
Yeah, so when it comes to Luiz Diaz, it's a major topic in Barcelona currently. And we can see that the sporting director is in favor of bringing Luiz Diaz. The board of Barca is in favor of bringing Nico Williams. Barca for some time now need a natural left winger. For the past season, we saw that he played usually Rafinha or sometimes Joao Felix. But these guys are not left wingers. Barca is now trying to get a proper left winger to take that role. And the names being mentioned is Nico Williams and Luiz Diaz. Now for Nico Williams, we know that his price tag has already been set, which is 60 million euros. And for Luiz Diaz, it's a bit more. Now, Deco, being the sporting director of Barca, wants to sign Luiz Diaz, whilst the board of directors want Nico. Now, in order to make such signings, we all know the financial crisis Barca is going through. So therefore, we need to make a major signing. We've heard that some teams from Saudi Arabia are bringing in 100 million euros to get no other person than Rafinha. Would this be possible? Well, it depends on the club right now. I think right now it's still being a debate going on between the board of Barca and Deco. But for me personally, I think it will be very, very incredible to get Nico instead of Luiz Diaz.
Well, let's see what is going to happen with that transfer news for sure. And hey, regardless, Manchester United for sure, regardless of Erik ten Hag leaving or not, they are linked with Sporting Lisbon or Sporting CF midfielder Morten Hjulmand. Eddie, I believe you are a United fan. What do you think about this? Because the 24-year-old guy has been absolutely massive for Sporting Lisbon throughout last season. And you need a midfielder because the midfielders of Manchester United is going to be distracted during this transfer window. And hey, already you made an offer to Benfica midfielder, then they rejected it so forth. I don't know what is really going on. Do you think you'll be able to get this midfielder?
All right, so concerning the midfield of Manchester United, we have a major problem because most of our midfielders will be probably leaving. Talking of Eriksen, Casemiro, and also don't know the stand of Iban's draw, but I know we will probably have a lot of midfield issues next season. So we are going in for young guys, experienced guys, good guys who can fit into the structure of Manchester United. Morten happens to be one of the names popping up on Manchester United interest. And with him, I think he is good, he's very good. And with him, I think every player comes along with a release clause these days, because if the contract with the club is not over and you are interested, probably you have to go in with huge amount of money for the release clause. And with his release clause, I think it goes for around 80 million. If we are willing to probably pursue him, as we have to pay this amount of money, then probably he can become a United player. That's the only thing hindering like the two clubs. So it's only up to Manchester United and the board probably to pay this release clause, and he'll be a Manchester United player. Yeah.
He'll be Manchester United player. Cristiano Ronaldo. is in the Arab Pro League and has been doing fantastic and still making records or history in football. Who knows, this should have been happening up till date. But then Nacho of Real Madrid refused to actually extend his contract as it stands right now. And then Casemiro likely of joining Cristiano Ronaldo. And Cristiano Ronaldo is working hard for Nacho and also Casemiro to join him over there. Nana Kwame.
Yes. So ever since Cristiano moved to the Saudi League, he's moved with his following. It has been of a great benefit to the Saudi League. In reference to this same situation, Lukaku made a statement recently that the Saudi League is coming. So we should all watch out for this Saudi, professional league. Nacho, as said, is not extending his contract. So I wouldn't be surprised Cristiano would, move in to push him into the Saudi League. Even there's a picture of the recent game they had. Cristiano and Modric. Modric is still having one season at Madrid. But I wouldn't be surprised if after that one season, Modric might consider making some money. Though he has said he wants to, have an exit or retire totally as a Madrid fan, but money is powerful. The Arab world is moving players with their sum of money. Same to Casemiro. He's had an up and down spell with Manchester United, and Cristiano is also, bringing in. So basically, Cristiano is talking to players. On the other hand, even his presence is also attracting players, the Saudi League. So it's going to be, a big boost for the Saudi League if they even get more players. Now, an even more interesting story. Kevin De Bruyne made a statement on an interview recently that he's beginning to consider, his family, the finances, or his finances after, football. So he said in the future he's going to obviously consider, the financial or the money aspect of the game, so that after his football career he can sustain his family. And this is also something he even said he has discussed with his wife, or his wife has also basically has discussed with his family. It's a family discussion that is ongoing. So you could tell that big players have one eye or one foot in the Saudi League, and that is going to be of great benefit to the Saudi League in the future.
There's going to be a great benefit in the Saudi League in great future. Talking about, you just mentioned Lukaku, and I remember Napoli have made a step to actually contact Lukaku through Chelsea, and they bid less than Lukaku release clause, which is 38 million. And Chelsea are standing firm. If you need him, you need to bring the release, the amount of the release clause. Well, Nana Kwame, what do you think about that, Napoli? They wanted Chelsea to actually go in for, but then Chelsea said they are not going in for Osimhen. If they need Lukaku, it's different ball game together.
I don't know why Chelsea have, sort of restricted Lukaku in terms of his transfers. Probably there's a reason we don't know yet, or probably they still have a plan for Lukaku in the future. But Lukaku is aging; he's not getting any younger. But his performance is also not reduced. Just yesterday, he performed outstandingly in the Belgium game. So I'm not surprised Napoli are interested in this guy. And Napoli is also on a reshuffling. Have a new coach, also want to get some new players. In terms of the probability that this move can happen, it's low. It's low because Chelsea seems to have a plan.
But they have already signed Lukaku's favorite manager, which is Conte. And Conte told them that he needs Lukaku, and instead of them to move him because the player had a release clause, they are going in for 25, 26 million. Meanwhile, his release clause is 38. And the coach actually needed him. We all know how Lukaku fits into Conte's system. But then Napoli is feeling reluctant because they and Chelsea business is always very, very difficult because Chelsea is afraid if they are moving in for Osimhen, then Napoli is going to demand a lot for that kind of. So they just said, no, we are not going for Osimhen. But then if you need Lukaku, you need to come in with the amount of the release clause. They are not asking more or less. Well, Eddie, I don't know. Chelsea, again, I know you are not a Chelsea fan, but then you have information about it. And hey, it's about Nkunku. Nkunku for Christopher Nkunku. A lot of German clubs have come in bidding for Christopher Nkunku, but Chelsea immediately turned it down because they believe that Nkunku is still a future or still have a future in Chelsea because they believe that the previous season was unfortunate event for him due to a lot of injuries and he couldn't do much and he always prove it when he comes on. What do you think about Nkunku in Chelsea future?
All right, so I think everything is clear between Nkunku and Chelsea. Since the club have decided not to probably give him out, because a lot of clubs have come in to probably get him, and the board of Chelsea have made their intentions clear with him that they are not going to give Nkunku out. Although his performance last season was on and off due to injury, as you said, but since the intentions of the board is clear with him, I think everything is good. Everything is just in his favor. So it's up to him probably to step up his game. Although don't get him wrong, he's a good player, but he should step up his game, and probably everything will be good.
Sammy, the PSR, profit and sustainability rule that Premier Leagues are actually putting in place with the VAR, and also let's see what do you think about that, because it's something that the clubs really do not want, but the FA is restricting them with the kind of spendings that they do. Is it something that will benefit the clubs, or maybe the FA is just doing it for their own benefits?
Yeah, so let me start with the VAR situation. At the end of the season, we realized that Wolves wrote a letter and wanted the teams of the English Premier League to vote if the VAR has been good or has been bad to them. In other words, they are saying that it has rather been wrong to them. So they wanted to disallow the continuation. But then after they had a meeting, that was some weeks ago, the whole teams came together and decided that they are still going to continue with the VAR. And we've all seen what VAR have done for the sport. So I think it's a good thing. Now, talking of the PSR, I think it's a rule that it keeps each and every team in check. As Simon said earlier in the other video, we know that if without the PSR, without these rules, some clubs will cheat some clubs. Though football is a sporting aspect, we also have the financial side. It has to go hand in hand, it's rebalance. So that is why we see a lot of teams always falling short with this. Now, the rules say that after 3 years, you should not accumulate debt for 105. Some are also pushing for 130 euros. At least checking up, you doing your balance and checking. You should make sure that you have maybe had a debt maybe below 100 million euro. Now, looking at the way that players are now expensive, staffs are expensive. The teams in the EPL are now complaining that they are feeling like 3 years is a short while, and the PSR is difficult. Now, you should also know that there are some rules given to teams for sales, especially if you're able to sell your own academy player. It stands as pure profits. That is why we've seen the likes of Chelsea for the past seasons, who have sold a lot of their academy players, the likes of Loftus-Cheek, the likes of Hansen Odoi. All these players are academy players, and they have been termed as pure profit. But still, we've seen that this season Everton was sanctioned, and a lot of points were taken to them. Fortunately for them, they did not go on relegation. But this rule is still there, and I think it's something that is have to check all the teams and make sure that everyone have the business side and also the sporting side in a balance.